Welcome children. Today I am dealing with some numericals. First one, a set of observations obtained in measuring the time period of a pendulum are 1.23 seconds, 1.26 seconds, 1.24 seconds, 1.26 seconds, 1.23 seconds and 1.22 seconds. These are the measured values of the time period. Then we have to find the true value and absolute error in the measurement. So I have written all the values here, all the measurements I have taken here as A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6. So these are the measured values and we have to find which one true value or mean value. The other name for true value is mean value. Then how will you find true value or mean value? We have to find the arithmetic mean of all these quantities. So when we are taking arithmetic mean of all the measured values, we will be getting the true value or the mean value. So we can find the arithmetic mean. So we have to find true value A bar equals, we have to add all these things. There is 1.23 plus 1.26 plus 1.24 plus 1.26 plus 1.23 plus 1.22. The whole divided by how many values are here? 6 values are here. So when we are adding all these things, we will be getting 7.44 divided by 6. That means again we will be getting nearly 1.24 seconds. So this is the true value. True value, or we can say it is a mean value. These are the measured values. So if measured values are given, how will you find true value? You can take the arithmetic mean of all these measured values. Then again we have to find which one? Absolute error. Absolute error in the measurement of each values. For each values we have to find the absolute error. Suppose I am finding the absolute error in the measurement of first value A1. That is written as delta A1 and put the modulus also. So always when you are finding this absolute error you have to put modulus here. So delta A1 means the absolute error in the measurement of A1. Now will you find that one? True value minus this measured value A1. Clear? That means what is true value here? 1.24 minus what is the measured value? 1.23. That means you will be getting 0.01. So this is the absolute error in the measurement of first quantity. Clear? Then similarly, second one. Absolute error in the measurement of second value, delta A2. How will you find out? This true value A bar minus that measured value, second value A2. That is equivalent to modulus of what is A bar? 1.24 minus what is the second value? 1.26. So you will be getting actually 1.24 minus 1.26 is minus 0.01. So we are taking only the modulus value. That means it becomes plus 0.02. Similarly, we have to find the absolute error in the measurement of third value, delta A3 equals true value is 1.24 minus what is the measured value third one? 1.24. So what is the answer? 1.24 minus 24 is 0. Similarly, we have to find for which one? A4 equals true value. What is true value? 1.24 minus measured value, that is 1.26. So here also 1.24 minus 1.26 is minus 0.02, but we are taking only the modulus value, so it will be coming out as positive 0.02. Similarly, delta A5 delta A5 you can find as true value. What is true value? 1.24 minus what is the fifth value? 1.23. That is equivalent to 1.24 minus 1.23 is 0.01. Similarly, we can find which one? Absolute error in the measurement of sixth value equals true value 1.24 minus sixth value is which one? 1.22. We will be getting 0.02. So this is the absolute error in the measurement of each values. Suppose if they are asking to find the mean absolute error, what will you do? we have to add all these quantities, delta A1 plus delta A2 plus delta A3 plus delta A4 plus delta A5 plus delta A6. The whole divided by 6 will give which quantity? Mean absolute error. But in this question they are asking only absolute error. So only absolute error means you have to find up to this much. And if they are asking to find mean absolute error, so you have to take the mean of all these quantities. Clear? Now second problem. Two resistances 100 plus or minus 3 ohm and 200 plus or minus 4 ohm are connected in series. So we have two resistances here. So first resistance I am taking as R1 equals 100 plus or minus 3 ohm, and second resistance R2 is given as 200 plus or minus 4 ohm. And here 100 and 200 represents the true values of resistance. That is a true value, or we can say mean value. And this 3 as well as this 4 represents the error in the measurement. This 3 represents the error in the measurement of R1, and this 4 represents the error in the measurement of which one? R2. Suppose we have one physical quantity Q. Q equals and this physical quantity Q can be written as A plus B. So when we are adding this A and B, we will be getting the physical quantity Q. Then the error in the measurement of Q, that means delta Q, absolute error in the measurement of delta Q or Q can be written as the error in the measurement of A plus error in the measurement of each one? B. So if we have two physical quantities and when we are adding, we will be getting another one physical quantity, then the error in this Q, okay, this adding of delta Q is given as the sum of the error in the individual measurements, that is delta A plus delta B. Similarly, suppose we have one physical quantity Q as A minus B. Then here the error in the measurement of this Q can be written as delta Q equals delta A plus delta B. So it is not minus. So whenever we are adding or when we are subtracting, the error we are only adding. So always we are adding the errors. We will not subtract errors. Suppose the quantity is addition or it may be a subtraction. In both the cases we are adding the errors. So if Q equals A plus B, then how will you find delta Q? Delta A, error in the measurement of A plus error in the measurement of B. Similarly, if Q equal to A minus B, the error in the measurement of Q, delta Q equals delta A plus delta B. Clear? And here it is given R1 as 100 plus or minus 3 ohm and R2 equals 200 plus or minus 4 ohm. And what we have to find is we have to find the equivalent resistance. Here both the resistors are connected in which one? Series. Okay. So how will you find equivalent resistance? R equivalent equals, we have to add both these resistances R1 plus R2. That means what is R1 here? 100 plus or minus 3 ohm plus which one? 200 plus or minus 4 ohm. So first what we have to do is we have to add this true value. So what is the true value here? 100 plus what is the true value here? 200. So 200 plus 100 is how much? 300. Then I told you whenever sum or difference comes, what will you do with the errors? We will be adding the errors. So here also what is the error in R1? 3. So error in R2 is 4. So we have to add this 3 and 4. So how much you will be getting? 4 plus 3 is 7. So 7 ohm. So this is the equivalent resistance. So R equivalent equals 300 plus or minus 7 ohm. So in the case of addition as well as in the case of subtraction, the errors we are always adding. So we have to add the errors. Okay. Now third problem, a potential difference of, it is given as V equals, potential difference V equals 100 plus or minus 2 volt. Okay. When applied across a resistor R, gives a current of, the current is given as how much here? 10 plus or minus 0.5 ampere. So I told you this 100 may be the true value of voltage and this 10 is the true value of current. And this 2 represents the error in the measurement of potential difference and the 0.5 represents the error in the measurement of current. Then we have to find the percentage error in which one? R. So percentage error in R we have to find out. So I'm telling, suppose we have a physical quantity Q equals A into B. A into B. Then the relative error in the measurement of Q. Relative error means absolute error divided by true value. The relative error in the measurement of Q is given as delta A by A plus delta B by B. That means relative error in the measurement of A plus relative error in the measurement of which one? B. So relative error in the measurement of the quantity Q. Delta Q by Q equals delta A by A plus delta B by A. Suppose if you want to find a percentage error, how will you find? Delta Q by Q into 100, relative error into 100 equals delta A by A into 100 plus which one? Delta B by B into 100. Okay. So suppose we have a quantity Q equals A into B. So we can write percentage error in Q, that is delta Q by Q into 100 equals percentage error in A, that is delta A by A into 100 plus percentage error in P, that is delta B by B into 100. The same formula we are applying here also. Okay. So we have to find which quantity? We have to find R. So this is applicable for which one also? Division also. Suppose we have a quantity Q equals A by B. Then also the percentage error in Q, that is delta Q by Q into 100 equals the percentage error in A, that is delta A by A into 100 plus delta B by B into 100. The same for multiplication and division. So whenever multiplication or division comes, we are adding here. The percentage error we are adding, or relative error also will be adding here. Okay. Now here we have to find which one? Resistance. So what is the formula for resistance? R equals V by I. Okay. So you can write in terms of which one? Percentage error. So how will you write in terms of percentage error? The percentage error of R can be written as delta R by R into 100 equals the percentage error in V, that is delta V by B into 100 plus which one? Current, delta I by I into 100. And what we have to find? We have to find this quantity. The percentage error in R we have to find out. And what is delta V here? Error in the measurement of potential difference. What is the error? 2 divided by what is the true value? 100 into 100 plus, so what is the error in the measurement of current? 0.5 divided by what is the true value of current? 10 into 100. So you will be getting 100 cancel. So 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5 is how much here? 7. So 7% is the percentage error in which one? Resistance. Okay. So whenever multiplication and division comes, so how will you do this percentage error? Delta Q by Q into 100 equals delta A by A into 100 plus. So whenever multiplication or division comes, you will be adding only here. Okay. Plus delta B by B into 100. Now fourth problem. A physical quantity X is given by X equals A square B square divided by C into root D. If the percentage errors of measurements in A, B, C and D are 4%, 2%, 3% and 1% respectively. So we have to find the percentage error in X. So before going to the problem, so first of all, suppose we have a physical quantity Q equals A raised to X, B raised to Y divided by C raised to Z. So in this case, how will you find the percentage error in the physical quantity Q? So that we can write as delta Q by Q into 100. That is the percentage error in which one? Q can be written as. So here, first of all, we have to write the power. So X, power into percentage error of A. That means delta A by A into 100. Then when multiplication comes means, you are simply putting which one? Additional itself. So plus, adding, plus. Then second term, what is the power here? Y. Y into power into percentage error in B. That means delta B by B into 100. Then again division. So we are putting plus only. So plus, what is here power? Z. Z into delta C by C into 100. That means we are adding all the percentage error. But whenever power comes means, first of all write the power. Power into percentage error of that particular quantity. So here delta Q by Q into 100 equals that power X into percentage error in A. That is delta A by A into 100 plus this power Y into percentage error in B. That is delta B by B into 100 plus this power Z into percentage error in C. That is delta C by C into 100. The same formula we are applying here. So here we have quantity X equals A square B square divided by C into root D. So we have the physical quantity X equals A square B square divided by C into root D. So I am writing the percentage error here. So delta X by X into 100, percentage error in X equals first term power is 2 into percentage error of A, that is delta A by A into 100 plus second quantity power is 2 into percentage error of B, that is delta B by B into 100. Then again third term, then again plus. So what is the next quantity? That is divided by, then also we are putting plus only. Power is 1, that means 1 into delta C by C into 100 plus, so here root D means D raised to 1 by 2. So what is the power here? 1 by 2 into percentage error in D, delta D by D into 100. That is equivalent to 2 into, so instead of delta A by A into 100, that means percentage error in A, it is already given here, that is 4 percentage, 4. So instead of percentage error of A, we can write here as 4. Okay. Plus 2 into the percentage error in B is how much it is given? 2 percentage. So I can put here as 2 plus percentage error in C. Instead of delta C by C into 100, we can write as how much here? 3 plus half into percentage error in D is how much? 1. So half into 1. Okay. So we are getting now 2 into 4 is 8 plus 4 plus 3 plus half, that is equivalent to 16 plus 8 plus 6 plus 1 divided by 2. So we will be getting 35 by 2, that means 17.5%. This is the percentage error in which one? The physical quantity X. Now fifth problem, find the number of significant figures of the following. First one, 2.3 into 10 raised to 4. This power will not count for the significant figures. So we will be having how many significant figures here? 1, 2. So only 2 are here. Suppose we have 2.3 into 10 raised to 6. At that time also we will be having only 2 significant figures. 10 powers will not account for the number of significant figures. Now here 235. So how many numbers are here? 1, 2, 3. So significant figures is 3. So here 4, 5, 7, 0, 0, 0. And these zeros are called as trailing zeros, ending zeros. They are not significant. So unless if decimal is there means they are significant. But if there is no decimal, these are not significant. So how many significant figures are here? 1, 2, 3. Now next one, 23.00. After decimal, these zeros and this number is greater than 1 also. So that means these zeros are significant. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 significant figures are there. Now here 25700 meter. These are trailing zeros, but unit comes means these zeros are significant. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 significant figures. Now here 0.105. It's a number less than 1. So before decimal 0 is not significant. But after decimal, one non-zero digit, then only 0 is coming. That means this 0 is significant. So 1, 2, 3. 3 significant figures. Now here 0.00521. This number is less than 1 and after decimal these zeros are not significant. So these zeros are not significant as well as this also not significant. So how many are there? 1, 2, 3. 3 significant figures. Now here 200.50. So it is a number greater than 1, and in between decimal comes means these zeros are significant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 significant figures. And here 0.010530. This number is less than 1. That means this 0 and this 0 are not significant. Then after that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 significant figures are here. Now here 470.00. So here greater than 1, number is greater than 1, and these zeros are significant because decimal comes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now sixth problem. Multiply 2.5 and 1.25 and write the answer in correct significant figures. So whenever we are multiplying two quantities, the answer should contain least number of significant figures of the factors. So here 2.5 means how many significant figures? 2. 2 significant figures. So here 1, 2, 3. 3 significant figures. So this answer should contain only how many significant figures? 2. So whichever is having, which number is having least number of significant figures, that answer should also contain the least number of significant figure. Clear? So I am multiplying this one 1, 2, 5 into 2.5. So I will be getting, so 2.5 into 1.25, I am getting as 3125. So after decimal 1, 2, 3, 3 digits. So like this. This is the answer 3.125. But the standard form is it should contain only how many significant figures? 2 significant figures. That means the answer should be written as 3.1. The remaining digits we can neglect. This is the correct way of representing the answer in case of multiplication as well as in the case of division also. So whenever we are dividing two numbers also, at that time also the answer should contain least number of significant figures. Okay. Suppose when we are dividing two numbers, one is having 5 significant figures, other one is having 3 significant figures, then this answer, this quotient should have only how many significant figures? 3. So whichever is having the least number of significant figures, that same number should come for the answer. Clear? And suppose we are adding two numbers. So I am adding these two numbers. So I will be getting 5.345. So in the case of addition and subtraction, this answer should contain least number of decimal place. So here, how many decimal place? Only one decimal place. Here 1, 2, 3, 3 decimal place. So which one is having the least number of decimal place? So here least number is how much? 1 decimal place. That should be containing which one? Answer. That means the answer should be written as 5.3. That means the answer should contain only least number of decimal place. So whichever is having least decimal place, that same number will be coming for the answer also. This is applicable for addition as well as for which one? Subtraction. Okay. So in the case of multiplication and division, we are checking the number of significant figures. So this answer should contain least number of significant figures. But in the case of addition and subtraction, we are checking the number of decimal place. Okay. So the answer should contain only the least number of decimal places. Clear? So remaining next video.